The alginate impression is a negative replica of the patient's dentition. The impression must be poured up with a durable product to create a positive replica. We use dental stone or plaster to make a model that can be used for study models or lab work. I will demonstrate mixing dental stone and pouring a maxillary and mandibular impression without a stone base. These models can then be used to make bleaching trays or athletic mouthguards. The correct ratio of dental stone to powder is 100 grams of stone to 30 to 34 milliliters of water. 34 milliliters of water is added to a rubber bowl. 100 grams of the powder is added until the particles become wet. Gently stir all the powder into the water to minimize the amount of air trapped in the mix. Vigorously mix by wiping the spatula against the sides of the bowl to incorporate all the powder and remove excess air. This is called stropping. Mixture should be smooth and homogeneous. Turn the vibrator on low and place the bowl on the work surface. Covering the vibrator with a plastic bag will make for easier cleanup. Press the bowl downwards onto the vibrator and press the sides of the bowl inward with your hands. This will remove all air incorporated during the mixing procedure. Holding the handle of the impression tray, place the tray onto the surface of the vibrator. Angle the tray with one posterior edge touching the vibrator. Pick up a pea-sized increment of stone on the end of a small spatula. Allow the stone to flow into the tooth indentations. Tilt the impression as needed to aid the speed of the flow. Continue adding small increments of stone to the most posterior end of the tray, allowing it to flow anteriorly. Air bubbles will form if the mixture flows too quickly over the tooth indentations. Tilt the impression toward the opposite posterior end and continue adding stone until the flow reaches the other end of the impression. When all the tooth indentations are filled with stone, lift off the vibrator and begin adding larger amounts of stone until the impression is filled to the top. Vibrate the entire tray for 2 to 3 seconds to settle the material. Place the impression on a tile with the tray edge towards the tile. Stone must set for 45 minutes before unmolding. After the stone cools, it begins to absorb water from the alginate and the final strength of the stone will be compromised. Stone that has been left in the alginate too long will have a chalky surface and be prone to breakage. Remove stone model after cool to the touch, at least 45 minutes after pouring. Before removing stone from the alginate, take a lab knife and clean excess stone from tray. Unmold impression carefully to avoid breakage. Inspect incisal and occlusal edges for voids and excess blebs of stone. Air bubbles incorporated into the stone during pouring will result in voids in the final stone model. Remove blebs of stone with the lab knife.